A very good morning to all the teachers and my dear students. I'm Priyanka Raghunath Sapkar from Goregaon MPS Municipal Secondary School East. Today we are going to continue with the topic of periodic classification of elements. So let's start with our session. So yesterday we have seen about the modern periodic table. So we will revise the table. As you can see, first we will start from the left hand side. There are 18 groups. You can see the numbers which are written above the elements 1, 2, 3, 4 till 18 from left to right. There are 18 groups and periods are, there are 7 periods. Periods are horizontal rows and groups are the vertical columns. Now here let's start from group 1. Now group 1 is an alkali metals. You can see upwards I have written there metals, alkali metals are there. So group 1 is an alkali metals. Group 2 is an alkaline earth metals. Then after that comes the transition metals. So from group 3 to 12, these are all the transition elements. Then from group 13 to 18, from 13 to 16, you can say these are all here. Metals are also there, metalloids are also there, non-metals are also there. Or you can say from group 13 to 18, metals, metalloids and non-metals, these are present. So now from metalloids, you can see the gray part, the gray color boxes which are present there, those are all the metalloids. Okay, and whatever the blue color, light blue colored part is there on the left hand side of the metalloids, these are all poor metals. And the green color boxes, these are moderately active non-metals, and the yellow colored boxes, they are the highly active non-metals. Okay, so from in the extreme right hand side of this periodic table, you can see that group number 18 consisting of a noble gas elements. Then below that, lanthanide and actinide series are there. You can see below two series are given to you. First one is the lanthanide series and the next one is the actinide series. These are the inner transition metals. Okay, so lanthanides and actinide series, these are the inner transition metals. And from group 3 to group 12, these are transition elements, transition metal elements. Okay, then after that, from group 13 to 18, these are non-metals and with metalloids and little bit metals. Okay, so now group 1 and 2 is an S block element. Okay, so group 1 and group 2, which are present on the left hand side of the periodic table, these are the S block elements. Then comes from group 3 to 12, that is the transition metal elements, these are the D block elements. Okay, 3 to 12 is the D block elements. Then after that, from group 13 to 18, these are the P block elements. P block elements. And after that, lanthanide and actinide series, these are the F block elements. Okay, then now group names are given to you. First one, group 1 is the hydrogen and alkali metals. Second group is the alkaline earth metals. Then the 11th group, you can see where Cu is there, Ag is there, Au is there. Okay, so these are all the coinage metals. These are all the coinage metals, that is copper, silver and gold. These are the coinage metals. Why? Because these are used in coins, for making the coins. After that, volatile metals are present, that is group 12. As you can see that in volatile metals, which elements are present? Zinc, cadmium, mercury. And these are all the volatile metals. Okay, then after that, you can see group 13 is a boron family group, where boron is present, aluminium is present, then gallium is present, indium is present, helium is present and neodymium is present. Okay, Then after that comes the carbon group, that is whatever the elements present below the carbon. These are all the groups of carbon. Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. Okay, these are all the carbon family group. Then after that comes the nitrogen. These are the nitrogen family groups. Okay, group 15 are also known as the pnictogens because the elements, all the elements are present below the nitrogen. That's why pnictogens. P is silent here. You have to pronounce it pnictogens. Then after that comes oxygen family, or you can write it as halogens. Okay, so here these elements are present below oxygen and before halogen. That's why the name is halogens to this group. After that comes the 17th group, which is a halogen. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. These are all the halogens. So that's why it is an halogen group. And after that comes the 18th group. That is the noble gas elements. Here, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These are all the noble gas elements. Okay. So we have seen this. You can see on the upper part, I have written here which name is given to which periodic table, sorry, which element. So you can take a screenshot so that will be easier for you to study while studying different types of properties, their names, and whether it is a metal or non-metal. For writing the examples also, it will be helpful for you. So you can take a screenshot. Then few of the unknown chemical properties elements are also given, which are given in white boxes. So their chemical properties are not known. So that's why it is given in white boxes. Okay, so next come to this characteristics of period. Now valence electrons. Now before valence electrons, you should know the difference between the valence electrons and valency. Okay. Now valence electron is the outermost electronic shell associated with an atom. Now suppose lithium is there. Okay, lithium's atomic number is 3, as you can see here. Okay, lithium's atomic number is 3, whatever the number is given above the elements in that particular box, So these are all the atomic numbers. So lithium has the atomic number 3, and if you will write the electronic configuration, you will write 2, 1. So that means outermost shell contains 1 electron. So that is the valence electrons. And what is the valency of lithium? Lithium's combining capacity is known as the valency. Okay, valence electrons means number of electrons which is present on the outermost shell, and the valency is the combining capacity of that particular element. That means to complete its octet, how many electrons it requires. That is known as the valency. So this difference you should know. Then comes the valence electrons, or the outermost shell electrons. So on moving from left to right in a period, the number of valence electrons in element increases from 1 to 8. Okay, so the valence electrons number, it increases. That is, whatever the electrons are present in the element from left to right. Now suppose take an example from lithium to neon. Okay, that second period. I'm talking about the second period, horizontal row. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. Now, valence electrons. What it is written that on moving from left to right in a period, the number of valence electrons increases from 1 to 8. So the number of electrons, as you can see that lithium has 1 electron in its outermost shell. Beryllium will be having how many electrons? 2. So likewise, it goes on increasing from 1 to 8. Okay. So the valence electrons increases from 1 to 8 from left to right. After that comes the valency. Now moving from left to right in each short period, the valency of the elements increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases to 0. Here you can see. Now, first one was the valence electron. I told you the difference between the valence electron and the valency. Valence electrons means what? The outermost shell electrons associated with that particular element. And valency means the combining capacity. How many electrons it requires to combine with the other element. So here you can see that lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and neon. So from left to right, valency, it first increases, that is from 1 to 4, and after that again it decreases. Okay, it goes 0 till neon. Okay, you know that for lithium it is 1 till carbon, and after carbon it goes on decreasing till neon it becomes 0. Because why 0? Because neon has already its octet completed, so it does not require any electron to combine with it. That's why neon will be having the valency 0 valency. Whatever the noble gas elements are there, that's why the name is given 0 group element. Why? Because it does not require any electron to combine. It has the completely filled octet, and that's why it is known as the 0 group element. And it is the stable. And of course, the valency is also 0. That's why the valency first increases from 1 to 4 till carbon, and after that it goes on decreasing and becomes 0 in the neon valency. And the valence electron, it increases from 1 to 8. That is from lithium, it starts from left to right. It increases valence electrons, that is whatever the number of electrons are present, from 1 to 8. Then comes size of atoms. Now on atomic size, you can say. So on moving from left to right in a period, the size of the atoms or atomic size decreases. Okay, so from moving left to right, here you can see. From moving left to right, the atomic size decreases. Okay, so now atomic size decreases and the metallic character also decreases. Now what happens? As you know, on the left hand side, all till group number 12, they are all metals, a kind of metals only. Okay, after that it starts becoming metalloids and then the non-metals. So metals are having the tendency to donate electron. Okay, so that's why the metallic character, that is in the left hand side, these are highly, all these are the highly metals. Okay, they are all the pure metals and highly metals, metallic in character. So here on the left hand side it is highest, and as we go from left to right it decreases. Same way the atomic size which is there, from left, in the left hand side the atomic size is bigger, and as we go from left to right the atomic size goes on decreasing. Okay, and also whatever the non-metallic character is there. Okay, as the metallic character decreases from left to right. Okay, and you know on the right hand side non-metallic character is more. These are all the non-metals. So we can say that is, as we move from left to right, the non-metallic character goes on increasing, because on the left hand side all are metals and on the right hand side all are non-metals. So we can say that from left to right the metallic character decreases, whereas from left to right the non-metallic character increases and the atomic size decreases. Then comes the chemical reactivity. So on moving from left to right in a period, the chemical reactivity of the elements first decreases and then increases. Here, the third period has been taken as an example. Okay, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine. Now here you can see this is the third period example, third period elements. Now, on moving from left to right in a period, the chemical reactivity of elements first decreases and then increases. Okay. Now see, sodium is a highly reactive. So as we move from left to right, okay. Now sodium, it contains 1 electrons in its outermost shell. So to complete its octet, what it will do? It will donate its electron. Okay, sodium has the atomic number 11 and it contains 1 electron in its outermost shell. Why 1 electron? Because it is present in group 1 and group 1 Roman number is 1a. So as I already told you that group 1 consists of 1 electron in its outermost shell. I'm talking about the group. Group 1 consists of 1 electron in its outermost shell. So what it will do? It is highly reactive. Sodium is a highly reactive. It will immediately donate its electron and thus it will gain its stability. Okay, so that's why it is very highly reactive. After that comes the magnesium. Now what happens in magnesium? 2 electrons are there here. So it will donate 2 electrons. But the alkali metals, whatever the alkali metals are there, they are highly reactive metals. Okay, as you can see here, see, these are the alkali metals. These are highly reactive, red colored. All the metals, these are highly reactive. After that comes the alkaline earth metals. These are mild reactive. Okay, after that transition metals are there. These are little bit less reactive than that of these two groups. So likewise, it goes on decreasing. So here you can see after that aluminium is there. Then for silicon, it is the least reactive. Okay. Then after that, so from sodium to silicon, the reactivity decreases. For sodium is very reactive and silicon becomes least reactive. So from sodium to silicon, it decreases reactivity. And after the silicon, what happens? From phosphorus to chlorine, it goes on increasing. Okay, you can say that from silicon to chlorine also, it goes on increasing. Chlorine is very reactive because it has requirement of only 1 electron. And what it will do, it will combine with the metals to gain the electron, and that's why it is very highly reactive. So here you can see that first it goes on decreasing and then it goes on increasing. Then comes the characteristics of groups. First, up till now, we have seen the characteristics of period, that is the horizontal rows. Now we will see the vertical column characteristics. Now, as you can see that valence electrons or outermost electrons. Okay, valence electrons, as I already told you what to mean by valence electrons. So here in this case, all the elements of a group of a periodic table have the same number of valence electrons. Now, as I already told you, group elements. Now suppose first group element is there. Whatever elements are present in the first group element, what they have the same number of valence electrons. Okay, that means they have only 1 electron in the outermost shell, whatever it may be. Here you can see lithium, sodium, potassium, then rubidium, cesium, and francium. These are all the elements which contains 1 electron in its outermost shell. So each group contains the same number of valence electrons. Then comes, for example, the group 1 elements lithium, sodium, potassium, etc. all have a valency of elements of the group 17. Then elements of the group 17, Cl, Br, I, etc. all have the valency. Now see here, whatever group you consider, okay. For example, you consider the first group. It requires so it has 1 electrons in its outermost shell. You consider this, or you consider any of the group. Suppose you consider the group of boron family. Then there are 3 electrons in its outermost shell. So whatever the elements are present in that particular group, maybe it is aluminium, maybe it is gallium. So all these elements contain same number of same number of electrons present in the outermost shell. Okay. Then comes the valency. All the elements in a group have the same valency. All they have the same valency groups. If it is period, then only it increases or decreases. But when it is a group elements have the same type of chemical properties, same number of electrons present in the outermost shell. So that's why the valency will be also same. Okay. Then comes the size. While going down in a group of a period, the periodic table, the size of the atom increases. This is due to the addition of new electronic shells. Now here you can see size here as you grow from first element to the below element, as you go down, the size of an atom increases. How? Because more and more number of electronic shells are added. That circles, yesterday I showed you that circles are there, no? Those electronic shells. Number of circles increases. As the number of circles increases, the size of atom is also increasing. So that's why new electronic shells are added. So we can say that as we move down in a group of a periodic table, the size of the atom also increases. Then comes the metallic character of a group. So here, while going down in a group of a periodic table, the metallic character of element increases. Okay. Now in the period, it decreases from left to right, but in a group, it increases from upper part to lower part. Okay. So here you can say that as we go down, the metallic character increases, the atomic size also increases. Okay. As the metallic character also increases, atomic size also gets increased. Then here, for example, group 14 and 15 begin with carbon and nitrogen, which are non-metals. These groups they end with lead and bismuth. So here respectively, which are metals. Now here you can see here, I will show you the periodic table. See here. Carbon and nitrogen, lead and bismuth. You can see here. So these all are, so till lead, that is Pb and Vi. So these are the metals. So here you can see from, if you go down. Now upper one, if you go for the carbon family, that is group number 14. Carbon is a non-metal. Then silicon and germanium is a metalloid. And after that comes the tin and lead, which are the metals, which are the poor metals, but these are metals. So you can say as we go down, the metallic character increases because upper one is the non-metal and below one is the metal. Same for the nitrogen. Upper one is the non-metal and below one is the metal. So that's why the metallic character increases. Then comes the chemical reactivity. All the elements of a group show similar chemical properties. Because as we know that why these elements are present in one particular group, because they show the similar chemical properties. Now, how to fill the electrons? We are writing the electronic configuration and all. So how to fill it? First of all, this is the energy, or this is the order. How to fill the subshells or the electrons in the subshells. Now, as you know, their electron shells are s, p, d, f. Okay, these are all the orbitals. Okay. So now the first circle, whatever yesterday I showed you, the first circle which is having the one electronic shell, it consists of s orbital. Then 1s will be there. So first that will come. After that, below order is also written. Then after that comes 2s and 2p in the second one. Then in the third one will come 3s, 3p, 3d. So likewise you have to write, and after that, that arrow is given. So first 1s will be filled, then 2s, then 2p, then 3s, then 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s, 4d, 5p, 6s, 4f, 5d, 6p, 7s, 5f, 6d, 7p. So likewise it goes on increasing. So you can take a screenshot so that will be easier for you how to fill the number of electrons. Okay. Now the subshells, the number of electron or the maximum number of electrons which a subshell contains. Okay. We are talking about the S shell, P shell, D subshell, F subshell. So these are all the subshells. Now you know that in the periodic table also we have written there S block, P block, D block and F block. Why? Because the outermost shell, whatever the outermost shell is there, that particular name is given to that particular block. So here S block contains 2 electrons. So not more than 2 electrons will be gathered in this S subshell. Then after that comes the P subshell. It will have a 6 number of electrons, not more than that. After that D, it contains 10 electrons, not more than that. It can be below, it can be less than that, but not more than 10. Okay. So always remember, whatever the number of electrons are given, it will not exceed above it. It will be either below it, but not above it. Okay. F contains 14 electrons. So these are all the number of electrons which whatever the subshells should have. Okay. Now you can see here the different types of shapes are given. How these shapes are. S orbital or S subshell has a spherical in shape. P has a dumbbell shape. D has a double dumbbell. Whatever the P has a dumbbell shape, no, so that like that double dumbbell shape is there, and F has more complex or multiple lobes are there. Now here SPDF subshells, different type of diagrams are there. That is not little bit, it is extra information for you so that you can understand what do you mean by this SPDF we are talking about. So these type of shells are there. You can see the first one is spherical. So X, Y, Z. As you know, in maths we are having, while drawing a graph, we have X axis, Y axis. So likewise, these along this axis only, this SPDF subshells are there. You can see here. So S has 1, P has 3, D has 5 diagrams you can see. Then F has 7 diagrams. So likewise, different types of boxes are there. In S, 2 electrons are should be electrons should be there. So for that, 1 box. Then P has 3 boxes. In that, 6 electrons should be there. 2 in each boxes. So likewise, in D, 5 boxes are there. That means 10 electrons should be there. And F, 7 boxes are there, and likewise 14 electrons should be there. So here first comes the K shell. In K shell, subshell will be 1s. Okay, maximum number of electrons is 2. So here I have written 2. Then comes the L shell. Yesterday I gave you that example of while drawing that circles around the lithium. Okay, then boron. So these are all because of these subshells only. First shell contains 1s only, so only 2 electrons. Second contains 2s and 2p. So 2 for s and for p 6 electrons. So second subshell should contain 8 electrons. Okay. Third one should contain 18 electrons. How 18? 3s, 3p, 3d. So likewise 2 plus 6 plus 10, so 18 electrons. After that, the n one should contain 32 electrons. How? Because 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14. Likewise, so it should contain 32 electrons. That means we can say the order of while writing the electronic configuration, the order should be 2, 8, 18, 32, because these are all the number of electrons. Now we will see how to fill the electrons. Okay. Now lithium has the atomic number 3. And that's why it is written total electrons 3. Now orbital diagram it is. Now while filling the electrons, while writing the electronic configuration, how you have to write? Now, first I already told you that the first shell, now here K shell, now lithium, so here 1s should be there. So here 1s is given. After that 2s and 2p should be there. Then after that 2s, 2p is written. Then 3s should be there. After 2p, 3s is there. So 3s is also written. Now we will fill it one by one. Now for lithium, 3 electrons are there. So here you can see 2 electrons in 1s, and after that, now always remember, first fill it with single electrons. Now say one box is there, so here what you will do, you will fill it, 2 electrons will be gathered in that one particular box, that subshell. Okay, 1s. After that comes 1 electron is remaining, that you will shift to 2s. So that's why the electronic configuration is 1s2 and 2s1, and that's why we are writing the configuration as 2, 1. Why 2, 1? Because in first subshell 2 electrons are there, and in second 1 electron is there. That's why 2, 1. Then comes the beryllium. Now here beryllium contains atomic number 4. Now for 4, how you have to write? In 1s 2 electrons, and in 2s also 2 electrons. So that's why 2, 2 you have to write. That means 1s2 and 2s2 likewise. Then comes the boron having this 5 atomic number. Then fill it, 2 electrons here in 1s, 2 electrons in 2s, and 1 in 2p. Okay, so that's why 2, 3 also you can write, because 2s and 2p they are in one shell. Now you can see here L shell is there. In L shell 2s and 2p comes. So here you can see that you can combinedly write the number of electrons while writing the electronic configuration. So here you can write 2, 3, or if you want to write in with this detail, you can also write 2, 2, 1. But 2, 2, 1 you should not write. 2, 3 is better. And if you are writing in this manner, 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1, that will also do. Then for carbon, 6 electrons are there. So here 2 in 1s, 2s contains 2 electrons and 2p contains 2 electrons. Now here for writing the electronic configuration, it is written here 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. Now you know that carbon has the valency of 4 electrons. Okay. Now how this 4 electrons happens? Now when it goes on, starts combining, or when it wants to combine, so that time what happens is its energy level increases and one of the electron from 2s will shift to the 2py, that 2p orbital is there, no, in that last box it will go. So what will happen? One electron in 2s and 3 electron in 2p will come and it will form a valency of 4 electrons. Okay, the valence electron will be 4 and the valency will be also 4. So that's why carbon always combine, or it can always form a tetrahedral structure. Why? Because it requires 4 electrons to complete its octet. Okay, you know that CH4, that is methane. It combines with 4 hydrogen. It takes one electron from each hydrogen and complete its octet. So that's why its electronic configuration is 2, 4 carbon. Then comes the nitrogen, 7 atomic number. Here you can see how the electrons are filled. So 2 in 1s, 2 in 2s and 1 electron each in 2p. So here you can write 2, 2, 2, 5 or 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Then comes the neon having the atomic number 10. So here you can see 1s contains 2 electrons. Then 2s also contains 2 electrons and 2p is also fully filled. So as you can see here, all the electrons are completely filled. That's why it is not reactive. Neon is a noble gas element or a zero group element. Why? Because its valency is 0, as it does not require any electron to complete its octet. Otherwise, you can see in the upper part, all they contains some of the electrons unpaired. So that's why they combine with other element to complete its pairing, or to complete its octet. Now here you can write the electronic configuration for neon as 2, 8. Why 2, 8? Because from 1s2 we are taking 2 electrons, and the second one, that is 2s2 and 2p6. 2 plus 6 comes 8. So 2, 8. This will be the electronic configuration. Then comes the sodium having the atomic number 11. Here you can see 1s is fully filled, 2s is also fully filled and 2p is also fully filled. But there is only one electron in the 3s orbital. So that's why, so what sodium do, it donates its electron. It is a metal. It donates its one electron, because after donating it becomes stable like that of the neon. Okay, so every element here, it wants its stability. If one electron is unpaired, if 2 or if 3 electron is unpaired, then it becomes reactive to complete its octet. So here you can write the electronic configuration as 2, 8, 1, or you can write here 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 or 3s1. Now here you can see the circular diagram, the diagrammatic representation. Now for hydrogen, only one electron is there. And you can see that whatever the number of electrons are there, same number of protons are also there in the nucleus. So that's why it is written 1 proton. So here electronic configuration is 1 and valency is also 1. Okay. Now valence electron is also 1 because it contains only one electron in its outermost shell, and it requires one more electron to complete its octet. That's why valency is 1. So here one electron is there. After that, helium. Now it contains 2 electrons. That means its octet is complete. 2 electrons uh, uh, in the circle present outside the nucleus, and 2 protons are there and 2 neutrons are there in the nucleus. So here also same number of protons and same number of electrons. And as here you can see that the valency is 0. That's why it is present in zero group element, or it is a noble gas element which is highly stable. Then comes the lithium having the atomic number 3. You can see 1s orbital, that is the first shell. Okay, it contains 2 electrons. It is completely filled. That's why it contains 2 electrons. The outermost shell contains only 1 electron. That's why its valency is 1. Its electronic configuration is 2, 1. Why 2? Because 1s2 is there. 1s orbital is filled. Now here you can see here example. The lithium 1 atomic number is 3. 1s contain 2 electrons. 2s has 1 electron. So that's why here outermost shell contains 1 electron. Also, why it contains it contains one electron because it is also present below the group number 1. Okay, this is one of the electronic configuration of sodium. You can see how we have written. Now electronic configuration chart. So S holds 2 electrons, P holds 6 and D holds 10. Now here you can see electronic configuration is written. Now sodium has atomic number 11 and its atomic mass number is 22.99. Now 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So how we get this electronic configuration, you can see here below sodium. It is given how we have filled the electrons in this particular orbital diagram. Then comes, we can see the carbon. Carbon has, we have seen this, a carbon has 6 atomic numbers. So how we have filled it. Okay. Now in the 1s shell, 2 electrons are there, but that comes little bit close. That's why you are not able to see it properly. But that dark part is there. That means 2 electrons are there. In 2s, 2 electrons and 1 electron each in 2px and 2py. Okay. So here electronic configuration in detail is given. For nitrogen atomic number 7. So how they have filled. You can see 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. Okay. Then for oxygen atomic number is 8. And here you can see how they have filled 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py1 and 2pz1. Okay. How this electronic configuration is written depending upon the number of electrons which are filled in that particular orbit. Fluorine has 9. So here this number of likewise number of electrons have been filled. So 1s2, 2s2, 2px2, 2py2 and 2pz1. For neon, we have already seen 10 atomic numbers. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 you can write. Now here you can see this is the structure of atom. Lithium has 1 electron in its outermost shell. Inner one is 1s and outer one is 2s. Then for oxygen you can see here 1s electron is completely filled. That is the first circle is completely filled. First circle always contain only 2 electrons. Outer one contains 6 electrons. So it requires 2 more electrons. Okay. To complete its octet. So then afterwards come fluorine. Now for fluorine, the atomic number is 9. So here you can see the first circle, it contains 2 electrons, which is completely filled. But the last one, it contains 7 electrons. Okay. So it required 1 electron to complete its octet. Now halogens which are present, the outermost shells contain 7 electrons. All the halogen, it contains 7 electrons in its outermost shell, whether it is a fluorine, bromine, chlorine or iodine. Then comes, so that's why the fluorine require how many electrons to complete its octet? 1 electron. Then comes the neon. Now neon has the first circle is filled with 2 electrons and the outermost circle it contains 8 electrons. So that's why it is completely filled. It does not react with any other element to complete its octet. Then comes the sodium. You can see the last circle, that is the last orbital. It contains only 1 electron and that's why it donates its 1 electron so that it will get the configuration similar to that of the neon and it will become stable. So likewise, these are all the diagrammatic representation. So let's evaluate. Now tell me the electronic configuration of lithium. Electronic configuration of lithium. Yes. Anyone? Yes. Sadia, unmute yourself and tell me the answer. Sadia, unmute yourself. Anjali, can you hear me? Unmute yourself.
Yes, miss.
Tell me the answer of lithium, electronic configuration of lithium.
The electronic configuration of lithium is 2,1.
Yes, right. Good. After that, okay. Then comes the write the electronic configuration of nitrogen.
Miss, can I?
Yeah, anybody else? Sadia? Okay, she's not able. Okay, tell me, Anjali, tell me the answer.
Yes, miss. The electronic configuration of nitrogen is 2,5.
Yes, right. Very good. Okay. Then after that, okay. Khushbu, tell me the name of the metalloid elements. Okay. Name the metalloid elements. Who can give me the answer?
Miss, can I?
Wait, beta. Anjali, wait. Saifunisa. Can you tell me? Khan Tilak Nagar, MPS Secondary School. Saifunisa. Unmute yourself. Tell me the names of metalloid.
Boron, silicon,
Huh?
germanium, arsenic,
Okay.
antimony, tellurium, polonium.
Very good. Okay. Hope so
Miss,
you can. Yes.
80 कौन सा एलिमेंट है?
80 वाला है मर्क्यूरी. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
मिस वो भी मेटालॉइड है ना?
नहीं. It's metal. It's transition metal.
Okay, miss.
It is a transition metal which is present in D block level. Okay. So I hope so you have understood the topic. So the last part of this topic we will see next session. So thank you everyone and thanks you all the teachers and my dear students, and I thank to BMC Education Department for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.